We are back here with another episode on Elevated Barbers Podcast. My name is Brad, the business-minded barber. You also know that I'm the owner of Another Level of Barbering, and I'm here with...
This is Delmar The Prince, aka co-host of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.
The information that you're giving them is going to elevate them financially, mentally, emotionally, and going to rise, and they're going to elevate.
We are here trying to elevate barbers as they're elevating the industry.
The one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.
So we have a very, very, very special guest with you all today. I want to say a lot about him before we bring him on, but I can't. Like, that would be unjust for me to do that, and he's right here. So let's bring Jerry Herrera to the stage. What's going on, Jerry Herrera?
How y'all doing? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Good, man. Good.
Feeling good. Now, if you all don't know who this is in front of you, because he's a very behind-the-scenes kind of guy, so you might not know his face. But this is actually the co-founder of the NorCal Barber Expo, one of the biggest expos on the West Coast right now. So, Jerry Herrera, please introduce yourself. Tell the people what they need to know.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? Jerry Herrera. Like my boy Brad said, I am the co-founder of NorCal Barber Expo, owner of Bay Area Barber Expo, and owner of the West Coast Cuts franchise.
Yeah, we just want to give you some flowers real quick. Delmar and me, we were doing some research. I got a chance. I'm a follower of yours on Instagram, man. I just wanted to say congratulations, man, to you being able to get, I believe it was the best barbershop? Best
Sonoma County.
In Sonoma County.
President Democrat.
How did that feel, man?
Feel great, man. To tell you the truth, I felt like it was a long time coming. Usually the people that get it are other barbers from other barbershops in town or locally in Sonoma County. But the funny thing is these barbers have actually worked for me for many years before they went out and opened their own shops, and they were getting Sonoma County's best.
Wow.
So yeah, somebody asked me, they're like, how come you guys don't ever get it? And I'm like, that's a funny question. I've never really campaigned or really tried or really got my barbers to rally behind, West Coast Cuts, our brand, to really get us out there. And, this time we really did. We spoke with all our clients, you know what I'm saying? We talked to all our people, and we already do community work. We're out in the field, doing haircuts for the homeless, haircuts for the unfortunate, homeless, unhoused people and folks, children, all that. So we're already in the community, and we already serve a majority of the community. So I thought it's only right that, we campaign for it, and we got it, by the grace of God. So,
yeah. Man, that is beautiful. So if you have not done this already, we're going to need you to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so that you can get the latest gems from everything going on here at Elevated Barbers Podcast. Yeah. Delmar, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask your question. I got like 95 ready for you.
Man, how did West Coast Cuts become a thing, man? Like, where did the idea start from, and how long have you been there?
So it's funny because we are on the West Coast. The street our shop's on is West College. You know what I mean? Wow. And but you know what? Before West Coast, I'm gonna keep it real. It was Jerry's barbershop for a quick minute, and then I realized that I wanted to be more. I wanted to do more, and I wanted to have people work with me. I didn't just want it to be a one-man show. Yeah. So I the Golden State Warriors, they ain't just the Steph Currys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? West Coast Cuts. And actually one of my friends that he's a DJ for the 49ers. He DJs for Real 92.3 LA. His name is DJ Amen. He's a long-time friend of mine. And I've been cutting him for about 13 years. And he's the one that kind of helped me with the name. He's like, why don't you do you on the West Coast? What's up with West Coast Cuts? And I'm like, that's kind of dope. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run with that. And we've been doing that's the name. That's how it came up. Yep.
That is crazy.
I like that, man. I literally was just talking to a young man yesterday, and he asked me, so I go by Delmar The Prince, but the name of my barbershop is Royal Luxe Grooming. So he asked me, he said, why you promoting Royal Luxe Grooming more than you promoting Delmar The Prince? And I said, it's the same thing that you just said. At some point, whenever I do get back in the barbershop space and I want people to come and work with me, I don't want them to be representing Delmar The Prince. Like you said, it's the Golden State Warriors, not the Steph Curry Warriors. It's the Dallas Cowboys, not the Jerry Jones Cowboys. So it's the same thing with the barbershop. I want them to come and be a part of a brand, not be a part of me.
Right, 100%. Right, yeah.
That's a big mindset to have, understanding that your growth is definitely going to come. It has to come outside of you. Like you ain't going to be able to be the end all be all for your own growth. Even if you really want to be able to grow, you have to duplicate yourself, but not duplicate you. You got to duplicate your brand. You got to allow your brand to be bigger than who you are. But I be cracking up, man. Well, I don't be really laughing, but I really find it really interesting when you see Instagram and you look at Instagram and different people's handles, right? And they're always promoting their name cuts, their name blends, or some nickname that they have or something like that. And it's like, wait, well, if you're trying to really like get big, like you're not gonna be able to do that.
No, you're absolutely right. There's a quote that I live by and I stand by, and I don't know where I heard this or when I heard it, or maybe I came up with. I don't know. I'm sure I didn't, but I've been living by it for a long time. And how it goes is, I would rather be a small part of something huge than a huge part of something small. So like I said, like right now I have 3 shops, right? And I want to open more. So we're franchising. I'm putting people in position, my managers, my partners, I'm putting them in position to be bosses so we can do it together and grow together, right? Now, if I was just me in this little shop and it's like, hey, look at me. That's me being a big part of something small, right? I'm a small part of something big, a collaboration, conglomerate, you know what I'm saying? So that's a great way, you know what I'm saying, Brad, to look at it. Like, take yourself out of it, right? Because at the end of the day, we just barbers, we're people, we're service people, right? I tell my barbers I have a monthly meeting at my barbershops every month. We bring the staff together and I tell them, I say, look, every person that walks through that door, we should be doing this when they come through, bow down to them, because they're supporting our livelihoods. They're taking care of us. You know what I'm saying? We're not the cool dudes no more. They are the cool people, right? It's not about us, right? We service people. That's what we do. We serve our community. So, you know what I mean?
And not to look like not to look down on that. Like a servant is one of the highest positions that a person can have because of who you're serving, right? Like if you look at your clients as someone worthy of honor because they find it valuable to even come and give you money, then you transition your mindset and you say, okay, well, how can I serve you the best, right? But a lot of people feel like the client is serving them when they come. Like, you deserve to get my haircut. Well, it's
like we're doing them a favor.
Right. No, for sure. I think it goes back to the mindset and the philosophy of like what Marvy Marv was saying. You guys all know Marvy Marv. You know what I mean? He said something about make community barbers popular again. Take us out. You know what I mean? So overall, community barbers is where, that's like I was saying earlier, we out here feeding the homeless, cutting the homeless, back to school for the kids, all that. So it comes down to just being community oriented. You know what I mean? Being a coach, like myself, I'm a coach. So just it's bigger than just being a barber. It's bigger than just us. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. I do want to point out something that you mentioned though. You said that at least once a month that you bring the staff together, the team together, and y'all have a team meeting. Absolutely. And I think that's key, man. If you want a barbershop that speaks volume, and you got to bring the team together and all be on one accord. My first time experiencing that was when I did an internship with Bradford at Javant's in California. And I've never been a part of something to where the owner or the team lead brings the team together and say, this is what's on the agenda, and then just doing team building activities too, man. Just, really building a bond with each other outside of just, hey, we work together and that's it.
Right.
Like really becoming like family. And then when you do that, it's like nobody could come in and separate what y'all got going on. Nobody could come in and tear it down.
Exactly.
So I really applaud that because that's not really popular amongst the barber industry.
A lot of the new barbershops and the new industry, right? Mm-hmm. I say the barber industry is like a wave, right? It hasn't settled yet. You got your OGs, you got your young cats coming in, you got the ones that are kind of in between, you know what I mean? And it just hasn't really settled yet, right? But I think that the ones that really, like you said earlier, you were talking about value, Brad, the ones that really, want value and they want more for their shop and themselves and their people, they will have community or monthly meetings for their barbers. They will have an agenda that they're trying to keep, or they will have, just the professionalism that is needed to, carry out every day, tasks for the barbershop to continue so people will keep coming to see you as you grow.
Yeah, like if you're trying to have a team, the team has to have a goal, right? Like you got to be trying to do something together.
Straight up.
You know, if you're not, that's one of the challenges that we have with this industry is everybody's trying to be an ISO barber. Everybody's trying to be the superstar and not really trying to join a team. But if you are in a barbershop, you have to be somebody that's willing to be a team player. Yes, you can be a star. Yes, you can be great behind your chair and your clients feel like you're the best ever. Absolutely. That's what we want everybody to feel. However, when you're in someone's shop, or if you're a part of a shop or you're a part of a salon, it doesn't matter. You want the salon name to ring as loud as possible, because if the salon name rings as loud as possible, then everybody wins. And if you are a person that doesn't want everybody to win, then you got to go get a suite. But
exactly, there you go.
You want to win the most, you got to be a part of a team for sure.
Absolutely, for sure, 100%. I think that's to add to your point, being a team player, not a solo player. The barber industry, sometimes it's funny in that way where, everybody wants to be the guy or the prima donna of the Michael Jordan and that's cool. Like you said, you want to be the best in, like, in your mind, like, I could cut anybody. I can do any service. I'm the man. I'm them. I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, even if you're popping on Instagram, even if you're, a famous barber, a well-known barber, when you go to the mall and nobody knows you're a barber, you're not popping. So really, you just trying to, you're doing this for your community, really, of barbers.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, you're not. To me, you're not impressing me, dog, because you're not you're not a real celebrity, or you're not somebody on, TV prime time or anything like that. You know what I mean? If I open Instagram, I'm looking at my barber community, then I will see you. But other than that, I don't see you out here. So I think, misconception that they're popping when it's really like, who are you popping to? Your barbers, your barber community.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's like, who's gonna help pay your bills? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like, you better be a celebrity in their mind. You know, you better be a celebrity in their mind, not in
not exactly they mind. Right there, that's boom, you got it.
And at the end of the day, man, I'd rather be the barbershop owner who is impacting the lives of the people that's working in my shop, my team, rather than trying to be the person I'm the best and I'm not even concerned about their growth. To me, that's selfish.
Right. No, 100%. I think we're called, as leaders, we're called to, pretty much lead them in the right direction, whether it's going to be opening their own shop or starting their own brand or start doing an expo or whatever they want to do. We're already, paved the way. We're already paving the way for them. So we might as well just, keep doing that and helping them, because if you've walked on God's green earth for a lifetime, you ain't never helped nobody, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We have a position. Somebody helped us. Somebody helped, you, Delmar. Somebody helped you, Brad. Somebody helped me. So it's like, you got to give it back. And that's, I think, really what God wants anyways. He wants us to give it back, right? Because that's wasted knowledge when you don't give it back, right? So
when you hold it to yourself and put it in the earth, your own earth, what good is that? You definitely got to multiply it. You give your talents away. I think that was a parable in the scriptures, man. Like, he gave one 5 talents, he gave another 3 talents, he gave another 1 talent. The person with the 1 talent, he just dug it in the earth and kept it. It was just like, okay, I gave you back what you gave me. It's like, man, why would you do that? Like, why didn't you go grow what I gave you? And the only way that you can grow it is you got to give it. So you got to give what you got, man. Don't hold back. Now, one of the things that you just mentioned, Jerry, let me see if I can open up your mind. You mentioned a few things that I want to dive into. Okay. One that you mentioned is how you started to desire to go after the achieving the best barbershop in Sonoma County, right? So one is, how do you go about doing that for your area? What was the framework? What did you need to do? How do you get votes? All of that kind of stuff. Like, what needed to happen for that to be achieved? The second thing that I wanted to acknowledge that you said was, it piggybacks on what Delmar highlighted, was the teamwork that you build, right? Like, as a leader, you always want to make sure that you're giving the team or the team that you're helping a vision, right? And so when you're having those monthly meetings, I'm sure you're giving them the vision. It might have been, we need to get this West Coast barbershop known and being the best in the Sonoma County. That could have been a part of the vision at one point. And now there's probably a bigger vision. But when you're thinking about, okay, this is what I want to achieve. How do I go about getting it? And then how do I rally my team about it? What are some of the things that happened for you to do those things?
I think what it comes down to for me is just we spoke on a little bit, we touched on a little bit, was the core values of making your shop a family barbershop, right? And I've always kept it like I started with my mother, and my mother had a family-owned salon, and I was working with her. So I think what it comes down to is that we really, really, really got to keep the family in the barbershop, and that means cut the drama, cut the immaturity. Where's the professionalism? I mean, where's helping each other out when we down? Hey man, look, even if it comes down to like a service and somebody's struggling with the service, why not come over and say, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You need some help or whatnot. You know what I mean? I think really what it comes down to is the family. That's the main component. All of my barbers and all of my staff, they're family. You know what I mean? They like, we all look at each other as like brothers and sisters in here. And that speaks volumes about our shop, because the clients can feel that when the clients come in, they can feel that. They can feel the energy. They can feel the vibes around here. We got a Latino, we got a Latina, we got a Filipino, we got a Black, we got a girl, we got a man. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all family, and you see how we interact and how we vibe, right? There's no it's all hugs and smiles around here, right? And it's kind of and you could watch, like if you sit here from open to close, every time the barber comes in, either comes and gives everybody dap, or he hugs every barber. And I've been doing that since day one. But I give all my barbers hugs when I leave. Same thing out. You know what I mean? We are fam. You know what I mean? I got to check everybody's temperature too when I walk in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go straight to my station, like, what's up, y'all? And then start cutting, right? I go around everybody, make sure that we all straight. Feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Now, when you guys were going after becoming best barbershop in Sonoma, what was the team project like? How did it go?
So it was all about, really, Brad, it was all about votes. So we was just trying to get votes, right? And how I look at it is we have 16 barbers right now, right? So I don't know another barbershop, collectively with our shops, I don't know another barbershop in town that has as many barbers as we do. So I just thought about it. I said, well, if we have 16 barbers, with some of the apprentices 17, why don't we start hitting up all of our clients and saying, hey, look, can you give us a vote? Like, you already come here, you've been coming here, you're already our client. Can you give us a vote? Would you mind giving us a vote? And they did. They just gave us votes. So it really came down to the voting system for that. And
where did they vote? Where did they go vote at? Like,
so the newspaper, so the Press Democrat newspaper out here, they have a site where you just go on and vote. You put your email in, your information, and you can just vote for Barbershop of the Year. And then
because I'm thinking of like the person that's in a different city, right? Like a barber that's in a different city, maybe a barbershop owner. It could even be a suite owner, right? It doesn't have to be that you have a barbershop for you to try and do this.
Right.
But here it is. There's a specific website that you went, or that the client can go and vote for?
So how we did it is we made it super simple for our clients. We had on every station, we had the QR code, which took you straight to the link. So after the haircut, we would just show them that, hey, we're nominated for best barbershop. Please give us a vote. So they would scan it, put the information in, and they give us a vote right there before they left the shop. So it's kind of like, I gave you all the game. So
how did you get nominated?
Huh?
How did you get nominated?
There was a first round, right? And then we had to get a certain amount of votes. And I'm going to tell you, God is good once again, because the reason why I believe we got the most votes, because the day that the nomination started to even get in the bracket of like top 3, we went out and did 3 homeless community shelter cuts and feeds. And it's, a lot of those unhoused people, they got phones. So they Obama phones, or they got a Metro phone, whatever. They have phones, and they can vote right from their phones. So we would give them free haircuts, and they would give us a vote. And they felt really good about that, because they're like, what do I have to offer? You know what I mean? Oh, I can give this man a vote. He's out here, taking care of me, taking care of my peeps, taking care of the community. Hell yeah, I'm gonna give him a vote, right?
Yeah.
That was it, bro. We probably got about, how many people we serve? Couple hundred. So we got a couple hundred off the bat like that, just from people that cut off the streets, right?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, people love coming to West Coast Cuts. We're a staple in our community out here. Over 15 years of service in the community, and you can look us up. We have the most reviews. Start up there with 4.7, whatever, and that's over the span of 15 years.
That's
good, long-standing reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like some encouragement for barbers, barbershop owners, barbers that are in suite, salon owners, different things of that nature. This is some real game. If you're trying to grow your brand, you're trying to grow what you're doing, you want people to kind of know you a little bit more, and you want to start getting awards for the community service that you're doing. Make sure that you find out how to get in contact with places that allow you to vote. So for you, what was the place that you were sending people to go vote?
The place that I was sending them to go vote was
like,
actually the site that the Sonoma County Best, the Press Democrat, the newspaper company, actually they had a site already with the voting system on there with the links. So I would just at least have, like I said, in the shop, I'd have the QR code here, or I'd have it on my phone for people when I didn't have the QR code, and I'd send them right there to vote. And they would just vote for, there was, automotive, there's, best restaurant, there's barbershop, but we were under, barbershops, and they just go right there.
So if somebody was trying to figure out how to get this started for themselves, like where would they go? Like in their city?
Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, so every year, and that's the tricky part. You have to know when and what time. So you got to look for it. You got to look for the trick, and not everybody is paying attention to that kind of stuff, right? So there's a few shops, like I said, that always pay attention, and these are people that used to work for our shop, and they always go for it. I've never went for it. So then I'm gonna let y'all have your thing right now, and then we went for it. We're like, okay, it's cool, we got it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you just kind of have to keep up with the times and the newspaper and everything, and know when they're going to do it. And I think there might be a way you call the Press Democrat and say, hey, or your local, if you guys have, say in your, Delmar or Brad, in your area, if you have something similar that we have, like, your town's best barbershop, you call whoever's giving the awards and say, hey, when does the nomination start, or when does the poll start, where we can get up in here and, and get votes and start doing it.
So that was the game. All right. So
being proactive.
Yeah, proactive. Yeah. So you're saying look up who's giving the awards out. So look up best barbershop wherever you're located, best barbershop, whatever. You'll see the person that won, or the facility that won that award last time. Then you can look up the name of the company that gave out the award, and then you can ask about, okay, well, how do I get nominated? All of this stuff.
When does your voting start? How do I do that? You're right, exactly. Yeah. And then you start being proactive, like Delmar said. Just get out there and get some votes.
Good game.
Start campaigning.
Be elevated, my friends. Be elevated.
Man, I do have a question for you, Jerry. So the NorCal Barber Expo, that's a big thing in the Bay Area. And I believe it's co-hosted.
Correction. It's the biggest thing on the West Coast.
Okay. I stand corrected. Biggest thing on the West Coast. We throwing up the dubs.
NorCal Barber Expo, man.
NorCal Barber Expo.
Bay Area. No. We statewide with it.
Yeah. I think last year we solidified, being the biggest, I'd say on the West Coast, biggest in California for sure. And it's just, like, same thing with the, the barbershop award stuff. You got to get out there and you got to campaign too. You got to let everybody know that you have the biggest show coming up. You have the biggest event coming up. Come check us out. People want to see if you're lying or not. They want to see, like, hey, Jerry's telling us this is the biggest show. We got to go see. And then they come out and see, and they're like, okay, yes, this is great. You know what I mean? He has 60, 70 vendors here. He's got, educators. He's got showcasers. He's got entertainment. He's got, over 20 chairs on the stage for, 10 categories of competitors. You know what I mean? 200-300 competitors. Yeah. So you got to, it's just about promoting the show, giving value, right? That's what I was saying. The biggest thing is giving value. So promoting the show, but also giving value to people that are coming to your show, so they continue to follow you and continue to come to your show and continue to just, hold your name with high regards. You know what I'm saying? For the NorCal Barber Expo being the top, show on the West Coast.
On the West Coast. Got to throw up the dubs. So, Jerry, how did the NorCal Barber Expo get started?
That's a good question. So, I don't know if you can see behind me, I have different posters in my office. It starts over here. There's 1, 2, 3. All the shows I used to do before the NorCal Barber Expo was the Bay Area Barber Expo. I got people like Pacino's.
Yeah.
Pacino's. What I mean? On that fly, there's Randy, Caking is Randy. From
Caking is Randy. Yeah.
Dave Diggs. There's no Dave Diggs.
Yeah.
DJ Amen, DJ. But I mean, there's so many. If you look up, there's Marv came to one of ours. Kenny Duncan from Andy's.
Got some legends.
DL Master Barber.
Yeah.
Blanzino. 360 Jeezy. There's a lot of people that have, frequented or been a part of our shows, you know what I mean? Judging or hosting or educating. And
the one that's over your left shoulder, that one. That one. Does that one say Brad the Business-Minded Barber on it?
This one right here? Where?
Yeah. No, one on your left shoulder, over your left shoulder.
This one right here?
Opposite way.
The other, there you go.
That way?
That way.
Yeah, does any of them say Brad the Business-Minded Barber?
Not yet, man. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. But we're going to get you on there. You have me going, dog. I'm like, wait, what? What talking about, man? Yeah. So, look, man, all these were me, right? I put in the leg work and the road work for all these, you know what I'm saying? And and I'll tell you this, it's hard to do, like I told you guys earlier, it's hard to do something by yourself. That's why I'd rather be, a small part of something huge than a huge part of something small. So I did I think 7 or 8 of these of the Bay Area barber battles out here. And finally, I looked around and I said, who else is doing anything like me? And the only person I could see that was really like, kind of doing something like that was Alejandro at the time, right? From Urban Barber College. You know what I mean? That's my partner for the NorCal Barber Expo. And we talked and we said, how that would look. And, if I wanted a partner, if he wanted a partner, if we should. And it kind of worked out because we're both business owners, we're both entrepreneurs. And he threw something at Oakland that I was impressed with for, a smaller show. And I said, why not? Let's do it. I was already getting to the point of I had almost a decade of throwing these Bay Area barber battles where I was getting, thousands of people at my show. Well, let me try to, beef it up and do something bigger. You know what I'm saying? So with his help, we ended up, I think last year was our biggest one. You know what I'm saying? We had probably at least 3,000 people at the show. You know what I mean? All day in and out, coming in and out. You know what I mean? The ticket sales, that's what it showed. It showed, over that. So, yeah.
Big shout out to Alejandro, man. We had a chance and opportunity to have him on our podcast when we were in Tacoma, Washington. He was on the Nargis and Chris Bazio episode. He wasn't expecting to get on camera, man.
He jumped on?
Yeah, he jumped on, man. Bazio pulled him in and he gave us his backstory, man. So shout out to Alejandro.
Yeah.
Alejandro. Yeah, man. He's a behind the scenes guy too. You know what I mean? Just like me, I'm a behind the scenes guy too. I was talking to Joanna today from the Student Barber Expo.
Okay,
Yeah, so they were just kind of picking my brain about a couple things. They got a couple things coming up, and I was just, I might, help them with one of the things coming up here and there. But I was letting them know. I said, at the end of the day, it's about community. I got into this about, to be a community barber, right? Now I'm a behind the scenes guy because I'm really successful in real life, and this is what I was expressing to them. Like, they're saying you a daddy's, on my Instagram. If you guys look at my Instagram, my daughter's all over my Instagram.
Yeah.
And my sons and my daughters. So, I'm a family guy. I'm a MMA boxing coach. I train, UFC fighters, Bellator fighters. I got one of my fighters, Carlos Figueroa. He has a fight. He fights with the Chihuihuas brand now. They're doing some big things. But I'm really successful in real life. That's why, if you look at my Instagram, a lot of times it'd be more of my family than, my work stuff. When the NorCal Barber Expo comes around, we posting. We up. But during, in my real life, I enjoy life. You know what I mean? I have a nonprofit where like I said, I feed the homeless and, work with children. I work with kids off the street to get them into boxing, coaching. I do the expos. I do the shows, entrepreneurship with that. But, that takes up a lot of my time. So I think for me, I'm successful in real life. So I don't really post too much on my Insta as far as like, hey, this, look at me, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. And don't get me wrong. I think it's important for a lot of these barbers that are coming up now, because I'm already on a different level, right? I'm established. But a lot of these barbers that are coming up, I think it's important for them to post pictures, post, events that they're doing, get themselves out there. You know what I mean? Armani, that's how I met Armani. That's how I got him to come on our tour last year, just looking at his profile and like, hey, I need to get this guy on my tour, right? So you never know what the Instagram's going to do for you, especially if you're trying to go with a brand or, get, your branding going, whatever you're trying to do. It's a great tool. But there is some people out there that are popular in real life, you know what I mean, that aren't really active too much on social. And I respect that aspect too. Jay-Z ain't got no Instagram. J. Cole don't ever post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't post.
It's one of those things. If you popular, if you right in real life, then you're good. You know what I mean? Your money's right, your family's right, then you're good.
Absolutely.
I will say I do love that culture about the West Coast. Like y'all all uphold each other's hand. You just mentioned
Yeah.
Amani, who was another guest of our show. He's been on the show twice, I believe.
Yeah.
And you said you saw his profile on Instagram and you wanted to have him on the tour. And that's something I wish that we would be progressive about here in Louisiana, in the South. We not progressive like that. It's like more so competition, who better than who.
Right.
And my mindset is so elevated so far past that, man, because I'm more about trying to I'm not a gatekeeper. Like if I know something
Yeah.
and I got a connection with you, hey, I'm gonna feed you what I know and I want to eat off your tree too. And
Nice.
that's something big that I noticed on the West Coast, even when I went to Tacoma and I just saw how it was a competition, but it wasn't no competition. Everybody was still rooting for each other.
Right.
So I
Right.
love that about the West Coast, man.
Yeah, it needs to be more like that. You know what I mean? In the Bay Area, as far as like the barber industry, I think that it is like that. You know, there is some sides where it's like, well, we don't mess with this guy, we don't mess with that guy.
Mhm.
But it's like I said earlier, you know what I mean? It's like you ain't really that popping dog. If you get out of the barber community, you're not a celebrity. You're only a celebrity to barbers. So who you
Right.
trying to look cool in front of, or who you trying to look? You know what I mean? It's like we got to come together, man. You know what I mean? It's all about unity. We're barbers. We're service people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, this has been such a good episode so far. I hope y'all. This is almost like write notes in some aspects, but then a lot of it is just like listen with your heart too. You like really absorb some of the information that's being given, because this is the kind of stuff that changes your perspective of what you do. You know, when you think about getting behind the chair, making sure that you are someone that serves the community, making sure that you are somebody that's a team player. This is this kind of stuff that'll change how you feel when you go to work versus when you always feeling like you got to compete, you always feeling like you got to like be better than the next person instead of being the best that you can be for the client. It changes everything. It changes everything on how you approach this business and how much you can actually get from this business. You know, like this is a real profitable business if you understand your role in this business. But if you're trying to be a superstar and not a team player and you're in a team environment, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And even if you're trying to, you get into a suite and you say, you know what, I am the best. I am him. Call me Himothy. You know, you get that attitude, right? But then you don't really put your clients first and you don't really serve them the way that they should be served. You feel like everybody's entitled, like you're entitled for everybody to come to you. You're going to lose too. Like you're still going to lose. So you have to understand that true growth is outside of you, but as you're changing who you are so that you can be grown enough to be able to impact others. But if you stay so immature that you just are trying to be the best version of you and you only in your own head, you don't realize the only way that you're going to be the best version of you is to serve others. You know what I mean? Some way.
People miss that part. People miss that part, man. People miss that part. I was talking to my nephew yesterday and he was like, hey, I can't believe, Raul Rostas or, the Chihuahuas do from the UFC, or I can't believe you was hanging out with them at the UFC, or I can't believe, this and this and that. You know a lot of people, Uncle. You know a lot of people. And I had to tell him, I said, look, because his mother just told me that he had gotten in trouble because his attitude and he was doing this and this and that. I said, I said, nephew, I said, the reason why people rock with me or I'm in these spaces and in places with these people is because of my attitude. It starts with you. It starts with your attitude. People want to be around the light. They don't want to be around the dark. They want to be around the light. You know what I'm saying? We're social beings. When we see the light, we gravitate towards it. So we see something popping, we're like, we there. When we see the dark gym, we're not going in that. Like if it's a restaurant, you see people lying around the corner, I want to try that. But if it's dark and nobody there, cool. You know what I mean? So I just start, like you said, man. To add to your point, it starts with your attitude. It starts with your mindset, your heart. You know what I mean? All that. You know what I'm saying? And as barbers, man, we need to, like I said, man, I can't say it enough. We need to bring that back. You know what I'm saying? That aspect of being here to serve. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I do have another question because I know Brad about to get the ball rolling. I know he got about 45 questions or so.
But we've been going, man. I'm good. We all taking sips of drinks.
Yeah, man, we're doing right.
Let me ask you this, man. You mentioned that you are a boxing coach for UFC. And then you say you pull a lot of the kids off the street and get them into boxing. Right. And we all know I love boxing. Boxing is my second favorite sport. But we all know the discipline that it takes to be a skilled boxer. Yeah. So I just want to pick your brain and ask you, how does the discipline of boxing correlate to barbering? I know it's a different type of question, but I'm going somewhere with this because it takes discipline to be a barber, but it takes a lot
Yeah.
of discipline to also be a boxer as well.
So I think, man, Delmar, that question is gold right there because you asked me another reason why my successes have been reached at this level is because of boxing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I would rather be in the shop talking to people like y'all or my
Mm-hmm.
customers than being in the boxing ring getting punched in the face for a living,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I've already done all that. I've already been in the ring. I've already been, to the, fought in the Golden Gloves. I already fought in the Nationals. I've already, had 36 fights in the ring. And I'll tell you what, man, barbering is a hell of a lot easier than that. Okay,
Yeah.
getting up at 6 a.m. every day, running that mountain with weights in my hand, with running 6 to 8 miles a day, sparring, every day, and working my body and beating up my body. You know what I mean? By the time that I got done with boxing, I realized that that I, number one, I want to do something else, but number two, that I can do anything now because I did that. Life's easy now. You know what I'm saying? I can sit behind this chair and stand. Nobody's punching at me. I ain't got to, sweat nothing. I'm just we can sweat this haircut. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know what I mean? And vibe with my client. So it gave me the discipline. It gave me the courage because you got to be confident. You know what I'm saying? Behind the chair. You know what I mean? It gave me the discipline, courage, and it gave me the just the I don't have that quit. I'm relentless. I work till midnight sometimes still.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I work late hours. People like, man, I saw you at like 11:30, 12 o'clock last night. What were you doing? I was like, I was getting a couple of my VIPs in last minute, and I was, it was cool. We had a cool little, intimate thing, and I like the after hours money too. 150.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
but you gotta do what works for you. Like if I leave the shop at 5 to go train my fighters, which I do, I'll train my professional fighters and my young amateurs. Then I'll go home after that, shower up, get something to eat, and I might run back to the shop and do a few more services. But you have to make it work. It's all about balance. And then when I have my daughter, I'm not doing any of that. It's our time, right? So it's like you have to go hard when you can.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like the word that you use when you said balance, because some people get that word confused and they think that everything needs equal weight. And that's, if you understand anything about anybody busy, that's not true. Like it's not equal weight to every single thing. It's giving your all to everything in a rhythm. Like you understand that your rhythm is like, it might be heavy boxing for this period of time in your life, right? Because you're trying to get ready for a fight. You might be whatever, right? So you go all in a stronger way. You give a little bit more time to this. You might have to say to your daughter, for this portion of time, like, hey, we're going to do a little bit less right now, because I have to do, daddy has to do this. But you might say it's the same thing for the shop. Like, you'd be like, okay, so I'm not going to do as many hours at the shop because I'm trying to give more time and attention to this. But then at a different point, that fight is done with. It's just like, okay, cool. Now it's daughter time, right? We're like, what are you doing? Or she has a big play coming up, whatever it is that, you ebb and flow with the things that's most important for you in your life, but you're able to keep a good rhythm, and that rhythm allows your life and your song to be beautiful. You know what I mean? It's where everybody else can look at it and they be like, man, you really are, you doing it, Jerry. But it's
well put, man. Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. Right. And and also a little bit of that has to do with prioritizing, right? In that, right? So that's another level of it, right? Like you said, if I have a fight that has a big fight coming up, then I have to move some stuff around because he needs my attention. If the shop, if we have a barber expo coming up, it's all hands on the barber expo, right? If my daughter has a recital, like you said, or something like that, where am I going? Be with her. It's for sure, 100%.
And the more priorities that you're able to have, the better you can prioritize. Right. When you have a lot of free time, you waste a lot of time. But when you have no free time, it feels like you get so much more done because you're able to focus, laser focus in.
Execute. 100%.
You don't got time to waste.
Right. And one more time, that's what the boxing did, because it lets you laser focus and you get in this mindset like you're training for a fight, but it's life that you're training for now. You know what I'm saying? It's life. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, not gonna lose. You're gonna be relentless. You're not gonna let life beat you. You're gonna beat life. You're gonna make this
Yeah.
out of here, alive and well, and you're gonna strive through your businesses and your family. Like that's that's the fight, right? So
Yeah.
that's what it's kind of gave me. You know what I mean?
And this
beautiful feeling.
it I want to like piggyback on what you just said right there, because that's so big. Is when you get into the mindset that this is for your life in whatever aspect that you're doing it in, right? Like in boxing, you trained because that was for your life at that point, not like life or death, but that's exactly what was causing you to be able to be the best version of you, right? So you were like, I'm going all in. And even when it comes to you being a barber, right? This has to go to that space for you where this is about your livelihood, right? This is for your life, like the things that you value, the things that you want to be able to do in this in this world, in this life. If you really want to be able to live life, then you have to allow your business to be the vehicle to get you to that life. But if you don't come with that right mindset and you think that, oh, you're just gonna casually, do what you do, I'm gonna be the best fader of all time or whatever, but you never get the business mind and the discipline that you're talking about, you will never get to the life that you say you want.
No. Oh, that life's gonna mow you over. You know what I'm saying? The one that you know what I'm saying you're chasing, it's gonna mow you over. It's gonna win. So you'll never get to where you need to be. You'll never reach those peaks, those heights that you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna elevate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree 100%, man. I agree 100%. Yeah. How long you guys been doing this the podcast?
It's been going on 2 years, but this is our 3rd season.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the first season was just me and Brad holding it down, setting the foundation, setting the tone. Second season was our first season with guests, and this is our 3rd season with guests. And we're glad, we're appreciative to have you on the Elevated Barbers Podcast.
Yeah,
nah, it's good, bro. It's good. It's all love. But yeah, I was just curious about that because I was like, have I been missing this? Where's this been, man? You know what I mean?
You've been missing it.
Missing it, man. Now I know. So, you know what I mean? I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in with y'all, man. I'm gonna look for the episodes and all that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
down
man.
The road, I'll jump back on again and see where we at then. In a while.
Yeah. We've been able to have a good amount of guests on, man. We had about 20 guests on last season. You know what I mean? In season 2. And then season 3, we don't know how many we're gonna have. Like we just kind of go until we don't really know exactly what else we want to do, and then we'll cut it off and do something else, right? Or at least like refresh, because you all, like you said, with your barbers, you get them together and then you guys talk about the vision of what's gonna happen, right? So once we execute what we're trying to do this season, then we'll probably reset and do something different for the next season. But it's been so valuable, man, just being able to talk to different ones that have a wealth of knowledge like yourself, being able to just draw out value from you all, because we are also building community, right? We're building community with barbers, and what we're trying to do is be a platform for barbers that are really trying to grow. Like you really want to grow, you really want to do something more than what you're doing right now. We know, based on experience, that's not coming from cutting hair only.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You have to elevate your mindset past just the fades, just the tapers, just the enhancements, just the lineups, just the best clippers. Like you have to learn how to get yourself into a business mind. And a business mind doesn't mean you only understand revenue, loss, and profit and all of that stuff, but it's about understanding patterns for growth. That's all business is patterns for growth. And you just look at patterns, and like you said, relationships too, right? Like you being able to connect with people and build collaborations with people is really what's going to take you further than what you can physically do by yourself, because you only got so much time. You only got so much of your body that you can use, and you only have so much energy, right? So that's the ceiling on all of us. All of us, we fighting against time. We fighting against the ability that our bodies can move, and then we also are fighting against our energy and what we really feel like we can give 100% of who we are too. So if you don't realize how to start to use your platform as a barber and grow something from your mind, then you won't be able to, like what the NorCal Barber Expo, that didn't come from you just cutting hair. That came from you thinking. The Bay Area Barber Expo that you were throwing, that didn't come from, I'm the best fader. I want to compete against somebody. That was from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And your heart for community, because you wanted to bring barbers together and elevate everybody, right? You're trying to showcase you. That's why you get
come together. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Now I want to ask you, what goes into throwing an expo? What does a person need to think about that may one day say, you know what, man, I want to throw an expo. I want to do that. What kind of goal? What's some basic framework that a person should definitely think about and try to achieve if that's a goal of theirs?
Yeah, that's a good question, because a lot of people these days, are throwing. I wouldn't say call them barber expos. I would say call them, just barber events, barber battles, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? An expo is not to be played with. When I think of an expo, I think of, everything looking nice and tailored, and all the booths, they have, cloths on them, and they've been, a company came in and set up the booths for you. And a lot of different companies there, well organized, some education rooms, some educators. I think of, the newest products, the newest brands. I think of, there's a lot that goes into it, right? So, as opposed to just going to a show and there's some guys on stage battling for some trophies, right? And that's fine, but we have to cut the line in the industry, and, really say, hey, look, you're a barber show, barber battle, you're a barber expo, there has to be a fine line. So to answer your question, there's a lot that goes into it. And mine is more of an expo now, because it's graduated from a barber battle in the first early few years when it was a barber battle. Now it's an expo. And, there's a lot that goes into it. First of all, you have to have about 20 to 25,000 for a venue of our size, of our, just to tell you, like last year, at the Marriott, it cost us almost 30 grand to rent that building. Right?
That's what I'm talking about. I like that number. I like it.
Right. So 30 grand is what we got charged to do that. So, and that's been, before that, we did the Pleasanton show, and that was 25 over there, 25,000. So number one, it's going to be money. Do you have the capital to, get a space this big? You know what I'm saying? Number two, are you going to be able to facilitate, as many booths as you need to get your money back? Are you going to get enough vendors in there, enough barbers to compete in your battle? You know what I'm saying? To get the revenue back. Are you going to sell enough food and drinks? Are you going to sell enough tickets? Are you going to, get enough sponsorship? It's all these things that go into it that you're thinking like, I don't want to belly up and be upside down on this thing. I want to make some money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So there's a lot that people need to, before I do anything, I'll go, and I'll put everything and put all the numbers in and say, hey, we need a host. We need, a judge. We need a this. We need a that. We need, a sponsor. We need a that. And I'll just, just get a couple in my Rolodex and be like, okay, I got this. Then on every one, I'll add another this or another that or another that. But you need to start like, okay, where are we starting? You have to have a starting point, right?
Yeah.
So, it just has to make sense, really, right? Otherwise, you could just throw a nice little barber show, and that's cool. But I'm not even. No.
You didn't mean it like that.
I didn't mean, because I was that guy. I used to throw a barber show. You know what I mean? It was a barber battle, right? And I was that guy. I used to throw the barber battles. You know what I mean? And it turned into an expo. By the grace of God, man, it turned into an expo. Sorry, but it turned into an expo, and it's been rocking ever since. It's turned into the expo. But like I said, you have to have, all your ducks in a row to do that. You know what I'm saying? That everything has to look right. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be in place. Timing has to be good. You know what I mean? You go to some barber battles, and it's like, I got here. What time does the fastest fade start? 1 p.m. Why is it 3 p.m. and nobody's even got on stage yet? I mean, it's not put together well, right? There's no professionalism there. There's no there's no structure, right? So there needs to be structure. There needs to be, capital. There needs to be a plan. There needs to be, hands on deck. I can't do it by myself. I have a team. We have, like, between Alejandro and I, when we do ours, we have, like, he has about 5 to 10 people. I have about 5 to 10 people. That's 20 people helping us, right? So it's not just us, right? Yeah. So a lot of people think it's easy, but it's not easy at all. You know what I mean? I commend, don't get it twisted. I commend every barber that throws a barber expo, a barber function, a barber battle, whatever it is, because I know what it takes, and I commend you. But I think sometimes they just don't know what goes into it before they embark on it. You know what I'm saying? To throw the one that has value, right? The one that you look forward to every year. People say we look forward to the NorCal Barber Expo every year because it's going to be a banger. You know what I mean? It's going to be jumping.
That's real.
So you're like, we have anybody, if it's you guys and you guys want to interview people, if it's United Barbers Club, Lonnie Tamil, or if it's a BB Sunglasses, if it's anybody that is looking for a place to lay down their platform for the day, they're looking for somewhere to be jumping. They don't want to go to the back of the alley and do their interview with like 10 people. I mean, maybe you get some good, some people in there, but no, you want it to be lit, man. You want it to be lit.
The way y'all set up Lonnie and Tamil and United Barbers Club for the podcast in the NorCal Barber Expo was epic, man. Y'all had the white leather chairs for them, man. Microphones ready, set up. I said they did that. And Barber View TV, like shout outs to all of y'all, man.
Mario, Barber View TV, they salute, man. And Lonnie and Tamil, man, that's all them, man. That's their creative minds. They brought, we gave them the space, and we say, hey, we want you guys in the front because I think you guys will get, the traffic, the foot traffic for you guys will be perfect. But they brought their, their stuff and their backdrops, and they do a really good job of, presenting the United Barbers Club. You know what I mean? They do a great job, man. So every time I see them, I'm excited. If I'm in the same place as them, I'm like, my brothers is here because they out here, putting in that work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're blessed to have them at our show. And I think that they now, because, people want them to go here, people want them to go here, people like them and y'all, you guys got to be very particular about who you put your energy to, because, there's only so many, Sundays, there's so many hours in the day, you know what I mean? Right. You got to, this person's throwing something, this person, you got to go where it's going to, serve you guys best so you can reach the most people that you can reach, for what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I got another question for you. This might be one of my final questions. I know Brad, he's a man of many questions.
Jerry, he be lightweight trying to roast me, man. Just so you know. Because he say I talk a lot. You know what I mean?
I don't say he talks a lot. I just say he's very talented in what he does.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. That's what he meant to say, right, Brad? That's what he meant to say. No, you've been having some good questions, man. I'm like really had to think. So you guys doing a great thing, man. It's a pleasure to be on this, man. Thank you for calling me and get me on the show. It's dope.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Delmar? Hit me, man.
So my question is, what is next for you? Are there any upcoming projects or goals either in your barbering career or your work as a boxing coach that you're excited about?
Yes and yes. And I'm going to answer both of those right now. We'll start with the barbering. First, the barbering, we did just kind of lay ground with Reno, Nevada, the biggest casino in Reno, Nevada, the GSR. We're looking to do a barber event at the GSR. We're looking to be the biggest one that Reno, Nevada has ever seen. And we're looking to host that sometime next year.
Beautiful.
As far as the boxing,
is that the NorCal?
No, that's going to be that's going to be a different thing. It'll be different. Yeah. So it'll be a whole different thing. I'm sure that, I've talked to Alejandro about it, and, he knows about it and that it's coming down the pike, but, we've just been working out the details. But I always thought that kind of like a Jay Majors thing, right? He has him and Jackie Star have the casino thing, and I see and it was kind of, I really like it was tasteful how they do it, over there at the casino, Vegas. Fancy, sexy, Vegas, all that. So what's the next step down from Vegas? You got Reno, Nevada.
Yeah,
it's like a little Vegas, right? Yeah. So we're looking at doing the show next year, and my guy's been wanting to do it for a while, so he's been talking to me about, we've been crunching numbers, and we might do a little shindig to start off with, but I'm hoping that all of my community from the Bay Area and Cali will come out to Reno, and have a good time at the GSR and rock with us at the next Barber Expo out there, the GSR Expo.
Oh man, that's tight.
That's big, right?
That's big news dropping on Elevated Barbers Podcast. Just in case y'all don't know, that was a drop. He ain't said that to nobody
on the West Coast.
Delmar, keep throwing up gang signs.
You like it's all right, man. You like throwing up the West Coast, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's in his heart. It's in his heart.
Yeah. It's all good.
That's my second home, man. West Coast.
So if you have not done this already, we're going to need you to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so that you can get the latest gems from everything going on here at Elevated Barbers Podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, that's going to be something coming down the pike. We're going to be doing the GSR Expo in Reno, Nevada. And as far as the fighting goes, I'm excited. On November 15th, my fighter that I trained, Carlos Figueroa, he's a Chihuahuas fighter and NorCal Fighting Alliance fighter, and he's going to be fighting soon. So I'm looking forward to Carlos's fight, November 15th. He's he's a young, amateur MMA fighter. He's got a pretty good record, and he's going to be putting on in Sacramento at the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino, or is it Hard Rock? The Hard Rock Casino. He'll be fighting there at the Hard Rock Casino. So I'm looking forward to that fight coming up, and we're getting ready for that fight. So Carlos Figueroa, 135, 140 pounder, you know what I mean? He's gonna fight at it's actually Uriah Faber's A1 League. Y'all ever heard of it?
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, Uriah Faber's A1 League. He's gonna be fighting in that, and we're super excited about it, man. So yeah,
man, congratulations.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah, man. So he took his brand to the next level too with him and his partner Raul that's in the UFC. They got the Chihuahuas brand. They're looking at they got clothing, they got merch, they got cannabis sponsors are looking at them, and they're taking that to another level. So yeah, I'm happy for them. I'm happy to be a part of the journey with them.
Nice.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I like what you said about a coach too, right? Because some people they get the confusion between mentorship and coaching. They feel like it's the same thing. Oh yeah, you showing them the ropes. But it's a big difference between a coach and a mentor, man. It's a huge difference. It's a huge time commitment difference from a coach versus a mentor. A mentor is someone that can give you a lot of guidance, but they solve big problems for you once you've grown into a problem that you need to be solved. A coach actually helps you grow. Like they are there on the day-to-day. They're there to guide you on your growth process. And so those are two different things. People be like, oh yeah, I got me a mentor. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, so you must be really growing at a pace that allows you to problem solved. You're like, no, like they just tell me, I should probably do this so that I can get more clients. Or it's like, oh yeah, no, you don't gotta, you gotta coach, but they don't know that they're a coach. They calling themselves a mentor, but they're a coach.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's more powerful to be a coach sometimes based on the spaces that you're in than being a mentor, because you have to be at such a level to be able to mentor some people. Like I look at Chris Basio, he's able to mentor people, right? Because of how far he is away from different ones, but he gets a lot of engagement in his community, but he's not sitting down on every project that you have trying to coach you through each thing, because he don't got that kind of time.
You don't got that time.
But he also has coaches. So anyways, my point is that I really appreciate the fact that you are actually coaching, coaching the program, but you also coach your barbers. But how do you do that? Because I always look at barbers definitely have to have the spirit that they want to grow, right? You have to have that spirit that you want to grow. But on top of wanting to grow, you have to be willing to level up, right? You have to be someone that's willing to take the action necessary to get to what you think you want to grow into.
Right.
Growth is one thing. You are aware that a change needs to happen so that you can be better. But to level up means that you're willing to take the actions necessary. So when you are talking to your barbers, how are you helping them? How are you coaching them through their growth process?
So I think for me is, as a barbershop owner, like we spoke about earlier, it's all about leadership. It's all about, setting that, laying the foundation for them so they can eat and they can win and they can be a part of the success and the growth process through the team. But I think the biggest way I can encourage them and support them is just be a barber to them. I'm not like, oh, I'm your boss. I'm not like I'm your, I'm higher than you, or anything like that. Like, we right here. I tell them all the time, I'm just a barber. That's how I got into this game. But I'm a barber that actually wanted to barber with more barbers, right? So, at the end of the day, I do the hiring and firing, right? So I'm still, the owner of the shop, but that don't make me like a dictator in here. Like I come in here, it's all smiles and hugs, and they know that I'm like, they can come talk to me for anything, and I'll pull them to the side. Like that's another way I'll do it. I'll pull them to the side. I'll pull them in my office, and I'll say, hey man, is everything cool? Let me know if you need anything. Like, how can we fix this problem? I'm a problem solver. How can we get through this and fix this situation you're going through? Or, how can I help? You know what I mean? And then I think that they know that they can come to me, and they feel that, they can feel my energy and my vibe, and they know that my heart is true. They're like, Jerry's gonna, he's gonna understand me, or he's gonna look out. You know what I mean? It's a family around here once again. You know what I mean? So the way I do it, I think, is just encouragement. I do a lot of encouraging around here. Give them a lot of opportunities. I put them on for different events and different things. I'm a cheerleader to my squad, man. You know what I mean? I've already got the accolades. I've been to Puerto Rico and won the trophies, at Andy's Barber battles. I've been to LA and won the trophies over there, at the bigger battles. I've been to New York. I've been to Chicago. I've done that. I've done the expos. I've done open 5 shops. To me, I'm good where I'm at, or I should already be good, right? All the time.
Yeah.
I should. It's their turn. So what I do, I'm the OG. I'm the mentor. I'm looking out for them and their best interest, like a mentor, like an agent, like a almost like a bigger brother or father figure to most of them.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna say that, but they probably feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On the inside,
my little brothers or my little sisters or something. You know what I mean? But I gotta look out for them. So I tell everybody, it's like a covenant. When you come to West Coast, it's like you're in a different. It's like you're in a clique now. Like it's different because now you my brother and my sister, right?
Yeah.
You're not just some barber that I'm getting booth rent from that works for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not. They know. I'll call them. I'll call them on the phone. What you doing? How's it going? What you up to?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a little bit of how I do. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of encouragement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was great. Like how you said all that. Because I come from a barber shop. I'm in a suite now, but the shop I came from, me and my brother co-owned it.
Oh, dope.
But everybody that we brought in, we wanted them to feel a part of the team. So it wasn't like, we the boss, y'all come and work under us, like y'all come and work with us, not for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Terminologies, man, make them feel like they're a part.
We together on this.
Yeah, we together. We want you to feel like we together. We would go eat out, have team meetings, and we would talk amongst each other, go hoop, just build like a real brotherhood.
Right, exactly.
Like we said earlier, man, I think that type of stuff is key, man. So people could feel like, what, if I do have an issue, I can't go talk to Jerry. We can go talk on the side. I can't go talk to Brad. We can go talk on the side,
Right.
Instead of feeling like, oh, they the boss, I can't go talk to them.
Right, exactly. And a lot of times that's how barbers feel, you know what I mean? Or it's an uncomfortable conversation and they feel like the owner's too much of a owner, you know what I mean? Like he ain't gonna hear me, or he's gonna just it ain't gonna be good. Instead of like, they know like I'm gonna give it to him straight. They know that I'm gonna be fair about any decisions that I make. They know I'm gonna be flexible, but I'm still gonna be firm, of course, because I'm an owner. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna hit them with those 3 F's. Fair, firm and flexible. Right? I'm all of those when they come and talk to me. You know what I mean? So, you got to be, man. You got to be. It's like we're all human beings. You know what I mean? We're not robots. As a business owner, you have, like, for me, like, I got 16 different personalities walking around, and and I don't know what they were doing last night. I don't know what they were doing this morning. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be open and ready for the, come on, bring it in, be ready for that wave. Bring it in. Let me see what y'all working with. You know what I mean? And just be open to it and be ready to support them in any way you can. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Like the way that you describing stuff, man, it's so cool to hear it. It's refreshing. I'll say that. It's cool. It's refreshing to hear it because as an owner, you're serving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're still talking about how to make it best for them versus, this is my team and this is what I got. I got them doing this and whatever. It's just like, no, I mean, thankfully I was able to build a ship, but the ship ain't for me to sail. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's for us. So I built this ship so that we all can go somewhere, right? That's tight, bro, that you think like that. And you're not saying it like that, but that's what you're saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's so cool.
Right. We eat together. We a family. Like, I don't have managers in my shop. I got team leaders, and the team leaders that I have, all of them know the drill. They're like, look, man, this person is not on board. They're not being a team. They're not being a team player. This person's not on board. They're not being a team player. So instead of like, getting on people, we just say, hey man, at the next meeting, let's address this issue. And then we do. We air it out and then we good again. You know what I mean? So we're all on the same team. And they'll say, like, you're not acting like a team member. Like, oh, okay. What I gotta do to act like a team member? I thought I was. It's like, well, when you do this, that, and other, you're not acting like a team member. And they're like, oh, okay. And you check it at the door. And that's why these meetings are important too, to do once a month with the staff. You know what I mean? And a lot of barbershop owners, I get it. It's uncomfortable, so they don't want to talk to, their barbers. They just like, hey, let me collect my rent, man. You guys come to work when you're supposed to, and we good, right? But nah, man, we're human beings, right? And barbers aren't like a minimum wage worker, like a Taco Bell, where you can just revolving door, where you can get one every month. Like these guys are like, they got they got their own personalities, they got their own cutting skills. You know what I mean? We're special, right? In that sense. So it's like you can't just fire a barber every time you feel like he's not performing right. Like, how can we help him, get to where he needs to be, so where he can level up with the rest of the team, right? Is it his cutting, the speed of his cutting? Is it his his vocalization? Is he talking to the customers enough? Is he being using his conversation? Is he, punctual at all? Is he coming to work on time? You know what I mean? Like, there's different things. Like, let's nip one problem in the butt, and just keep going from there. You feel me?
Yeah, I like how you use the terminology too, team lead and not manager. Some people can't handle certain things, man. You tell them they're a manager, they start going crazy.
Oh my God, bro. oh man, I don't know if I should talk about this on here, but look, why not?
Hey man, be open, man. Be open.
I had a dude one time, and he was managing the shop, and then no name spoken, but he was managing the shop, and some of the people that was under him, they were just feeling really like they didn't feel like he was doing a great job as the manager, right? And I think it's because he was like, I'm the manager, I'm a lead. Jerry told me I'm a lead, so they didn't really like that, and they ended up leaving. I ended up losing some staff members because of that, right? And and that's fine. That's why I don't go with the whole manager, title. I mean, it's got to be like, we're all together. I mean, we're leaders, right? You know what I mean? We're leaders, and that's where we'll keep it. You know what I mean? The management, that's too, like you said, Delmar. It's too much entitlement with that. I'm managing this joint, man. And the job is to just make sure that the staff is good. That's what the manager is supposed to do. He's supposed to make sure that the people under him are good. That's the job of a manager. It's not to get them in trouble or like fire them because they late or. No, it's to make sure that the team is good. That's actually what a manager does. He just manages the flow of the shop and makes sure everything's smooth. That's what he's supposed to do, right? A lot of cats think I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and a lot of times they ain't even leading by example. They're getting there late, and they're telling you to be there at 10, and I'm here at bro. Like, it's a barber shop, bro. Like, we're not. You don't have a title like that, man. You know what I mean? Like, you just lead, man. Lead by example. That's all it is, man. Have some integrity, dog. You know what I mean? Just little things, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for real. Little things go a long way, man.
Yeah, they do.
So I mean, that was my story with that. So I was like, nobody's a manager. We're team leaders, right? You know what I mean? I got team leaders, and that's it. We got a barber of the month. Every month. This past month I gave out 3 barber of the months because we missed our last month's meeting, so it was 2 months coming. So I just gave out 3 barber of the months to 3 barbers that were doing an exceptional job in the shop. So I was like, it was time, right?
Yeah.
But, we acknowledge them then. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. People love that too, man, being acknowledged for the good work that they're doing. And it kind of lets them know that, hey, I'm on the right track, and I want to continue to stay on the right track. So I'm going to work even harder to, just stay focused, stay locked in, stay building the brand of the shop,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now, this is a question for you as a shop owner. When you get a barber in your that comes and they get a chance to join the team and everything, do you? How do I want to say this the right way to get the truth out of you? How do you
keep it a buck, man? Come on, hit me.
So when a barber comes there, is your desire for them to be a great barber at your location, or is it that you want them to be the best that they can be, and whatever that means, right? They may choose to stay with you and be West Coast cuts forever, but then they might want to grow and get their own barbershop or whatever, or do their own thing, go in a suite, whatever. When you're thinking about bringing people on and developing them, do you feel that fear as an owner, like, hey man, like you got to be West Coast cuts, bleed it from your heart? Or what's your mindset on that? Because a lot of barbers don't get a team spirit because they get into an environment where they feel like they're stifled, where their growth is stifled, right? So they fear giving their all to the team because I won't be able to grow. So what's your thoughts on that?
It's not true. It's not true. I always say that you should treat the shop like it's yours, like you're an owner, because one day you might be an owner. So you got to know how to clean. You got to know how to keep your station right. You got to know how to be punctual. You got to know how to talk to customers and be professional, greet all the customers, right, and say hello to them and goodbye to them. You know what I mean? Just little things, because one day you might be. I think it's very important for barbershop owners, when new barbers come in, to try to uplift them and build them. I'm not a barbershop owner where I'm scared where he's going to come and take all this clientele and he's just going to dip, right? I'm charging the booth rent. We have an agreement. As long as he's here, he's paying booth rent, and he's to wear his apron. He or she is to, be professional, be on time. There's a few things I ask for, right? But, hey, congratulations one day if you want to go and open your own studio, your own barbershop, you know what I mean? Talk to me first. Maybe we can go on together, right? Which I have asked, with people. Let me know. Maybe I'll give you some ideas of an area where you need to be, or how can I help you, right? So I think there'll be a little bit more, there'll be less hesitancy for them to like keep things from you and like do stuff on the side and not be Team Brad or Team Delmar, when they know, like, once again, going back to being open, they know you're going to be open about some shit. So they're like, hey, Jerry's going to be open. I'm going to talk to him about this. Jerry, I'm really thinking about opening something later on, but 2 years from now, great, man. When that time comes, let me know. So maybe we could talk about some, maybe expanding the brand, or, doing something together, or me just helping you, so you can open a good shop, a better shop. Because you know what, at the end of the day, these people came from my shop, right? So these people are a representation of me, right? So I don't want them to go out there and be, doing this or that, and representing themselves back. It's like, didn't he used to work for Jerry? You know what I mean? So and to me, I'm very proud when people. There's been in Mocktown, there's been 19 barbers that are all barbershop owners that now have their own barbershops that came from West Coast Cuts.
Wow, that's a testimony, man. For real.
I've had about 80 barbers that have worked through West Coast Cuts since we've been open, and about 19 of them have opened shops. So I'm never against somebody growing or building their clientele up and being like, hey, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? If anything, now what I try to do is I say, hey, look, I breed in some leaders. Do you want to? I'm opening up a shop. Do you want to get in on this? Do you want your own shop? There's a location over here. I can set you up. Or can we, how can we work this together? Right. So there's room for growth in the company still, right? You could be a team leader, and maybe you can, get your rent reduced. You can be an owner, a partial owner, a percentage owner. You know what I mean? There's different ways that you can still keep elevating these barbers to where they have, they have hope that there's more that think, like you said, we're not grown anymore, so we have to go do our own thing, right? And being that they are in an environment that's conducive to them through like being family orientated, they're going to be like, oh, this is, I'm chilling here, because what does family feel like? It feels like home, right? So they're going to be chilling there, and they're not going to want to dip. And if they do, they're going to talk to you about it, because they know you open, you cool with it, like you're good. So they know my mindset on that. They talk about it in front of me. Oh, one day when I get my shop, I'm like, yeah, man, shit, one day, man. You know what I mean? Like, keep grinding, bro. You ain't there yet, but keep grinding. You ain't there yet. But no, it's I really do, root for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like I said, I've done what I've done. You know what I mean? I'm still doing it, but I've done what I've done. So it's their turn. It's his turn. It's her turn. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it works out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just hope that, I get, at least a little leeway, so I know what's going on, and maybe even a conversation about doing something together. And after that, if they don't want to, hey, man, best wishes to you. Good luck. You know what I mean? And do your thing. Right. So I don't ever feel any type of way about that. I train them up. I teach them, I still mentor them. And the crazy thing is, my team leaders, they will actually help these new barbers coming in with their haircuts, with game, knowledge,
Yeah.
advice. They are me when I'm not here. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another good thing that I've set up, through the shops is, building people up because I built you up so much and you felt this love and gratitude for me that the new people, I'm gonna do for them, right? I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
paying it forward, right? So that's what another thing we got going on here. You know what I'm saying? So
Got a good
it's
culture.
good culture
Man,
going on, right?
that's a testament to you, who you are, and also your brand. Because one, what's for you is for you, right? So
Right,
can't nobody take from you what God has for you.
right. Yeah,
Two, you're not the type of owner who is afraid to bring people in, and you're afraid that at some point they're going to leave my shop and go get their own. You actually try to, help them. Hey, look, if this is what you want to do, come and talk to me. I'm an open book. I can show you what to do, what not to do. Perfect. Then you
right.
also have those who feel like this is home, this is family. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to work for West Coast
Yeah,
forever.
yeah,
So that's kudos to you, man, because you don't find that with a lot of barbershop owners. Some people, they will hear through the wind that somebody is, and I've gone through it.
yeah. We all
They'll
gone
hear
through
through the
zoners.
yeah.
Yeah,
They'll hear through the wind that, oh, so and so is getting ready to open up a barbershop. And then they start hating and talking down on it, and like, oh, they try to keep you boxed in.
Yeah.
But just like you became an owner, I want to grow too. you
right,
know. So,
right.
instead of hating on me, kind of show me the ropes. But if
Yeah.
not, I'm gonna go find somebody who's gonna show me the ropes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, or I'll learn on my own, and then when I bring somebody in, they can learn from my experiences of what not to do.
Yeah,
So I think we need more people like that in our industry, man. Because
yeah.
as I say oftentimes on this show, this is a pride and ego driven industry.
Mhm.
Man, hey, 100, man, 100. And then look, man, if you don't want to do if you don't want to do it because you're that type of person and you don't want to lead by example and help them out, do it because karma, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll come back to you. Look, I have in the last expo I just did, there was out of the 19 shops, there was probably about like 7 or 8 shop owners that came to my expo, even though they don't work for me anymore. They still came to my expo, so they're still, rocking with me, even
Yeah.
though we don't work together anymore. If I would have been like, oh man, like, yeah, man, go on, I wish you nothing but bad luck, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna rock with me. They're not gonna come to my
Right.
shows, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they still have respect because I did them right, right? I never did nobody dirty, you know what I'm saying? I can stand by that, and they still have respect for me, and they still will pull up. I call them like, hey man, you coming out to the show? They're like, yeah, I'll be there, bro. I'm gonna bring my crew, or I'm gonna bring my new crew. Now they
Yeah.
got their shop, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but they know like if it wasn't for Jerry, I wouldn't have got the game, the knowledge, the insight on how to do this, how to do that. I might not have the shop that I have. I might be one of these kids that just get out of barber school, puts a toolbox up in a mirror, and then goes, "Hey, I'm open for business," but doesn't know nothing about business, right? So I mean, for me, I just think that it's ingrained in me to just keep moving, and keep moving forward, and keep paying it forward. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
wonderful, man.
Yeah.
Man, well, this has been an outstanding episode. We could really keep going. We
Oh
really
yeah.
could.
Oh
And
yeah.
if we kept going, then you wouldn't come back. So we got to get you to come back one time, man. This has been an outstanding episode, Jerry. I think that you've poured out so much from your cup, man. I think that a lot of people are going to be able to take a lot of things that you said to heart, a lot of things that we spoke about on this podcast to heart. Hopefully they took some notes on some things on so that they can become the best voted, like get the votes that they're supposed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Understand some of the steps some of the things that you need to think about if you're trying to do a show one day, do an expo one day.
Yep.
Hopefully they start to get a little bit more insight about becoming more of a servant leader versus just a dictator.
Right.
A lot of different things that we covered today.
Yep.
And becoming more of a team player so that you can actually be a leader, be a
Right.
leader, be somebody that where people are able to view you in a light, like you were saying, that attracts more light. You know what I'm saying? You want to be that type of person. So this has been a rich episode. Delmar, I mean, what do you say? You feel like it was just a little cool, or this was this was good too. What you saying?
Nah, this was an outstanding episode, man. I will say this before we depart. Starting the Elevated Barbers Podcast has probably been one of the best things that we could have ever done for me personally, just because it's opened my mind up to, so many different things and the type of relationships that we've been able to build by having guests and just hearing people different perspectives on business and what they do and their stories and their journeys and how they became successful. Like it's got me on another level. It's definitely elevated me. I will say that. So I'm happy that we started this almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. Now, Jerry, this is your first time, man. This is your first time on Elevated Barbers Podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's my first time, man. My first time. Hopefully not the last, man. So, you guys got a good thing going here, man. And you guys, I like that you guys, have your own experiences to offer as far as, in the barber community, your barber, experiences that you had through your shops or just being barbers, you know what I mean? Because I think there's an organic feeling behind it when, you actually are from that. You are from the barbering industry. You are a barber. You're not just some random dudes that just started, interviewing barber shop owners and barbers, you know what I mean? Like, you guys know what's up.
Yeah, man. Well, we have had an outstanding time. I hope everybody was able to enjoy this episode. This is Elevated Barbers Podcast, and we are always trying to bring on we're trying to elevate barbers that are elevating barbers. And you heard today how Jerry Herrera, the co-owner of the NorCal Barber Expo, the owner of the Bay Area Barber Expo, the pioneer and the pushing movement of the, what was it called? The GLR?
GSR, yeah. Grand Sierra Resort. Yeah,
Grand Sierra Resort Expo that's coming in the next year, man. We have had a blast. So if you enjoyed this episode, you still here at the end of this because you was trying to get all the jewels possible, please go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, do what you can do to support our channel so that we can grow this channel, because we're really trying to elevate barbers that are elevating barbers. So from now until then, we will see you win. All right. Elevated Barbers, we out.
Peace.
The information that you're giving them is going to elevate them financially, mentally, emotionally, and going to rise, and they're going to elevate.
We are here trying to elevate barbers as they're elevating the industry.
The one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.